I knew someone wanted me buried when a funeral arrangement showed up before sunset. I found it at noon, sitting on the front steps of my venue like a joke with petals. A massive arrangement of white lilies wrapped in black ribbon, with a card that read, "Rest in peace, Nightshade. You had a cute run." Cute. As if I poured my 20s, my sleep, my savings, and my sanity into something cute. My name is Cara Lane. I own Nightshade, the only place in Briar City where the music is loud enough to drown your ex, and the lighting is kind enough to forgive your decisions. People think a club is just drinks and a DJ. They do not see the licensing meetings, the insurance calls, the broken toilets at 2 a.m., or the bouncer with a sprained wrist because somebody wanted to cosplay a hero. I ran my hand over the ribbon, felt the stiff satin, and knew exactly who sent it. Lola Vane. Influencer. Self-appointed morality sheriff. 27 years old, sponsored by energy drinks and other people's envy. She had posted a video 3 weeks ago claiming Nightshade was a danger to the community. She said we served minors. She said we ran an underground gambling ring. She said I encouraged drugs. None of it was true. But truth is slow, and Lola was fast. She had a following big enough to summon attention with one blink, and she used it like a weapon. One post, and suddenly the city council wanted hearings, the neighborhood association wanted petitions, and the local paper wanted a quote from someone who had never stepped inside my club. I lifted the wreath and carried it inside. My manager, Ben Carter, watched me with wide eyes. "Should I throw it away?" he asked. "No," I said. "Put it in the office. Evidence should not get sunlight." Ben swallowed. "The inspector is coming tonight. The one from Liquor and Entertainment Compliance." "Of course he is," I replied. Lola never throws a rock without hiring someone to claim the rock was the law. At 6 p.m., my head of security, Mason Cole, walked in with a printout of a social post. Lola had uploaded a video from across the street. It showed my front doors, my sign, my staff setting up rope stanchions. Over it she wrote, "Watch me shut this place down tonight." Underneath, thousands of comments cheered like they were watching a boxing match. Mason grimaced. "We can deny her entry." "That is what she wants," I said. "A scene, a clip, a sob story. She will cry about oppression and rack up another 100,000 views." Ben tapped the printout. "What is the plan then?" I looked at the wreath card again. "Cute run." "Tonight," I said, calm as ice, "we let her run." Mason raised an eyebrow. "You are letting her in." "I am letting her hang herself," I corrected. I built Nightshade on one principle. People come here to feel powerful. The trick is, they always reveal what they are when they think the room belongs to them. Lola thought she owned the narrative. She did not realize I owned the cameras. And the cameras, unlike influencers, do not lie. They just record. Friday nights at Nightshade start sweet and end sharp. At 10:45 p.m., the line curled around the block. The bass inside was a steady pulse, the kind that makes bills and bad decisions feel negotiable. I stood behind the bar with a club soda, watching the floor like a chessboard. Then Lola arrived. She came with a small entourage and a big ring light. Her outfit was innocent white, which is how villains dress when they want you to doubt your own eyes. She walked up to the rope and smiled at Mason like he owed her gratitude. "I am here to observe," she said loudly, for the benefit of her phone. Mason looked at me for confirmation. I gave him one small nod. He stepped aside. Lola entered with the grin of someone walking into a place she plans to burn down. The first thing she did was aim her camera at the bar. "Look at this," she announced to her followers. "They are already over-serving." The bartender, Naomi Reyes, blinked slowly. "Ma'am, that is tonic water." Lola kept recording. "They are trained to lie." I leaned in, voice low. "Lola, no filming inside." She turned the lens toward me like a flashlight. "Oh wow, the owner is here. Cara Lane, right? The woman ruining this neighborhood." I smiled. Not because it was funny, because it was predictable. House policy, I said. No cameras. She tilted her head. House policy does not override public safety. That was her trick. Make everything sound like a civic duty. It lets you do ugly things while wearing a halo. I did not argue. I lifted my hand and signaled Mason. He approached politely. Mom, please turn it off or leave. Lola laughed and pointed her phone at him. Say hello to my audience. You are about to become famous. She shoved past him, still filming, and headed toward the VIP balcony, where people paid for privacy more than liquor. She was not chasing a good time. She was hunting content. At 11:30 p.m., the compliance inspector arrived. His name was Owen Pike. Crisp suit, clipboard, eyes that never smiled. He flashed his badge. Routine inspection. Mason stepped in front of him. We have a crowded floor. Can we schedule for a slower hour? Owen shook his head. Tonight. Of course tonight. I walked over, professional. Mr. Pike, welcome. We are fully compliant. Happy to cooperate. He stared at me like I was a suspicious receipt. Then he looked down at his clipboard and said, We received an anonymous report of drug activity and underage service. Anonymous. Sure. In the corner, Lola watched from behind her ring light, smirking like a cat behind a knocked-over vase. I leaned closer to Ben. Do we still have the upgraded camera buffer? Ben nodded. Triple redundant. Audio and video. Good, I said. Because she is about to commit her first mistake. At 12:04 a.m., Lola darted into a hallway labeled Staff Only. Mason moved to stop her, but I held up my hand. Let her. She vanished into the back corridor where our security office sat, and she thought she was out of sight. She forgot one thing. The back corridor had cameras too. In the security room, my monitors showed Lola in bright clarity. She strutted down the staff corridor, still filming, narrating like she was touring a crime scene. She reached the door marked Employees Only and tried the handle. Locked. She looked left, then right, then did what all confident amateurs do. She forced it. The door popped open with a sharp crack, and Lola slipped inside. I watched her in silence, the way you watch someone walk into a trap you set weeks ago. Ben stood beside me, pale. That is breaking and entering. Yes, I said. And she filmed herself doing it. Bless her ambition. Inside the security room, Lola rummaged in a cabinet. She pulled out a binder of compliance logs, flipped pages, then shoved it back. Not what she wanted. She needed drama. Proof. A headline. She spotted the drawer where we kept incident reports, the boring paperwork that proves we handle safety. She opened it, scanned, then frowned. Boring does not feed her algorithm. Then she did something that made my stomach tighten. She reached into her purse and pulled out a small plastic bag. A baggie. Even through the camera, I could see white powder. Ben sucked in air. No way. Yes way, I said. She brought her own evidence. Lola placed the baggie on the desk, angled her phone toward it, and whispered to her camera like she was narrating a horror movie. Then she picked up a marker and scribbled something on a sticky note. She stuck it beside the baggie for her shot. I zoomed in. The sticky note read, Found in VIP room. My jaw went still. Not anger. Focus. She was not just lying. She was planting. That is not influencer drama. That is a crime. I tapped my earpiece. Mason, do not confront her. Guide Inspector Pike toward the staff corridor in 5 minutes, calmly, like it is his idea. Mason replied, tight. Understood. Ben stared at the screen. Are we calling the police? We are, I said. But not yet. We are collecting the whole story. Lola put the baggie back in her purse, then opened my incident report drawer again. This time she stole a file. She stuffed it into her tote, grinning like she just won. Then she left the security room, closed the door, and strutted back toward the main floor, as if she had done nothing but breathe. On her way out, she bumped into one of my servers, Callie, and hissed, Your boss is done. Callie blinked, confused, because normal people do not understand they are being used as props. At 12:18 a.m., Lola returned to the VIP balcony and went live again. I just found something disgusting, she announced. This club is hiding drug reports. They are covering up crimes. Her followers flooded the comments with rage and glee. Lola smiled like she was sipping it. Inspector Pike turned toward me. Where is your security office? I gave him my best calm. Staff corridor. I can escort you. He marched down the hall with Mason and Ben behind him. I followed last, keeping my face neutral while my pulse counted time. When we reached the security door, Owen tried the handle. Open it. Mason swiped his card and stepped aside. The room was empty now, but the desk was not. A fine dusting of white powder lingered where Lola had staged her photo. A smear, barely visible. Owen leaned in, eyes narrowing. What is this? Ben whispered. This is not ours. We do not allow anything back here. Owen straightened. I need to call this in. I nodded. Please do, and please review the footage. Owen frowned. Footage. I pointed to the cameras overhead. This hallway, this door, that room, everything is recorded. The realization hit him like a switch. He pulled out his phone and made the call. And somewhere upstairs, Lola was still smiling, unaware she had just handed me the cleanest revenge possible. Police arrived fast when you say planted narcotics evidence on a recorded feed. 2 officers first, then a detective in a plain jacket. Detective Harriet Knox. Practical haircut, no patience in her eyes. The kind of woman who hates wasting time on fools. Inspector Pike looked like he wanted to crawl into his clipboard and disappear. Detective Knox turned to me. Owner. Kara Lane, I said. Show me the footage. Ben led us into my office. Nightshade thumped on downstairs, oblivious, still dancing while the real show began behind a tinted door. I pulled up the camera feed archive. Time stamped, clear, no gaps. Detective Knox watched Lola force the door. She watched Lola rummage. She watched the baggie appear. She watched the sticky note. She watched Lola pocket a report file. Knox did not blink. When the clip ended, she paused it on Lola holding the baggie. That is her, Knox said. Yes, I replied. Lola Vane. Do you know her? I know of her, I said. She has been running a campaign to shut us down. Knox nodded once, a small motion that meant she understood motive. Where is she now? Knox asked. I looked at the monitor showing the VIP balcony. Upstairs, still filming, still lying. Knox turned to her officers. We are going up quietly, no chaos. She is recording, so she wants theatrics. We do not give her any. Mason guided them through the service route. I followed, not because I needed to, but because I earned the right to watch the ending. We reached the VIP balcony. Lola was mid-sentence, phone held high, ring light on full blast. Her face was glowing with manufactured outrage. And this is why you never trust places like this, she said. They hide everything. Detective Knox stepped into frame, calm as a shutdown screen. Ms. Vane, she said, voice firm. Turn off your phone. Lola froze, then tried to smile. Officer, hi. I am documenting for public safety. Knox held up a badge. You are being detained for questioning regarding unlawful entry and tampering with evidence. Lola laughed, too loud. This is insane. The owner is framing me. Knox did not react. We have video. Lola blinked. The smirk cracked. What video? She demanded. Knox nodded to an officer, who gently took the phone from Lola. Lola lunged, but Mason stepped in, still calm, still professional. No roughness, just inevitability. Lola raised her voice, trying to summon her followers through the air. Everyone, record this. They are silencing me. Most people did not have phones out because of our policy. That was the point. Privacy, remember? The crowd just watched, curious, unimpressed. Knox asked. Do you have anything on your person that you should not? Lola scoffed. No. Knox signaled. Search. The officer checked her tote, then her purse, and found it. The baggie. Lola went pale. Her mouth opened, then closed, like her brain was buffering. That is not mine, she stammered. They planted it. Knox stared at her. We have video of you bringing it in. Lola tried to step back. Mason blocked her path gently, like a door that does not argue. Knox turned to the officers. Cuff her. As they led Lola away, she started crying and shouting at the crowd, as if volume could rewrite reality. Nobody rushed to save her. Nobody clapped. Even the DJ kept playing. Because nothing is louder than consequences in a room that finally stops caring about your performance. By sunrise, the internet had flipped. That is the funniest part about influencers. They pretend they control attention, but attention has no loyalty. It goes wherever the blood is. Detective Knox took Lola downtown. Inspector Pike filed a report clearing Nightshade of the allegations and noting attempted evidence tampering. The city compliance office sent me a formal letter. Inspection closed. No violations found. Ben walked into my office with coffee and a look of disbelief. She is trending. I opened my laptop. There it was. Clips from the police body camera. Lola crying on the balcony. Lola being let out. Comments flying like daggers. People love a villain when the villain finally slips on a banana peel in public. Mason leaned against the doorframe. She also stole an incident report file. Detective Knox asked if we want to press charges. Oh, we do, I said. We press charges like we press vinyl, clean and loud. At noon, Detective Knox called me. We searched her phone. She has messages with a guy named Trent Marrow. He promised her a payout if Nightshade lost its liquor license. My eyes narrowed. Trent Marrow was not an influencer. He was worse. A local promoter who owned a failing lounge across town. He wanted my club shut down so his little beige box could breathe again. Knox continued. There are payments, not huge but documented, and a draft email she planned to send to the council with staged photos. It is organized. Conspiracy, I said. Knox agreed. Yes. Also, there is footage from her live stream where she talks about getting you closed, and she mentions having friends inside compliance. My jaw tightened. Inspector Pike is not her friend. He is terrified. Not him, Knox said. Someone else. We are investigating. I thanked her and hung up, then looked out at my empty dance floor. The lights were off. The room smelled like citrus cleaner and last night. Ben hesitated. Are we safe now? I laughed softly. Safe is a temporary setting, but we are stronger. That evening, I held a staff meeting. No speeches, no drama, just facts. Lola tried to frame us, I told them. She broke in. She planted evidence. She threatened staff. The police have everything. Naomi raised a hand. Will she come back? Not without a court date, I said. The room chuckled, tired but relieved. Then I did the last move, the one Lola never expected. I posted a single statement on our official account. No insults, no bragging. Just a calm summary that we cooperated with law enforcement, that we protect privacy, and that we will not tolerate harassment or illegal activity. I attached one still image from the footage, time-stamped, Lola forcing the staff door. No captions, no emojis, no rage, just proof. Within an hour, Trent Marrow called my phone. I let it ring. Then I answered. Kara, he said, voice too smooth. We should talk. I am listening, I said. Things got out of hand, he said. Lola went rogue. Lola did what she was paid to do, I replied. He sighed. What do you want? Two things, I said. First, you will stop. Second, you will understand you are next. He laughed nervously. You do not have anything on me. I smiled at the quiet irony. Detective Knox says otherwise. Silence. Then a click. He hung up. 3 weeks later, the city filed charges against Lola for unlawful entry, tampering with evidence, and theft. Trent was investigated for coordinating false reports and paying for the setup. A compliance employee in another office was disciplined for leaking scheduling details. Nightshade stayed open. The wreath stayed in my office for a month, dried and brittle. A reminder that people will try to bury you while you are still breathing. I finally threw it away on a Tuesday afternoon. Not because I forgave Lola, because I did not need the reminder anymore. In this business, you do not survive by being loud. You survive by owning the cameras, keeping your receipts, and letting criminals do what criminals always do when they think they are untouchable. They overplay their hand. Then the cops do the rest.